We are going to play. We're going to play. We're going to play Parole right now. We're going to lead off with L.A. and then when we get back on, we'll have Mr. Insane. Okay, welcome back to San Clemente Punk here on Fighting Words Radio Network on blogtalkradio.com. We are joined now by Mr. Insane from the Houston-based band Dogs on Parole. Mr. Insane, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Great, great. Now, over the last couple of weeks, I've gotten to know your band and everything, and I'm very impressed with it.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Tell us a little about your band.
Well, I've only been in the band for, I'd say, about 6 months now, and we're kind of all from different types of music out there. We're not all like, coming from just punk. Some of us were into glam metal back in the day. Some of us were into, like black metal and stuff like that. And then, of course, we've got our punk roots as well. We're just trying to do things, the right way. Be a band that sounds as good as we can, put on a great show live, and entertain the people. Right
now, it's interesting you were saying, the glam metal and everything. Having gone over the Dogs on Parole, lineup, you've got Rocker Jones, Juice, Tiffers, and then, of course, yourself. You guys name influences from Cheap Trick, Hanoi Rocks, the Sex Pistols. Yourself, you put Pretty Boy Floyd and L.A. Guns. Tiffers has Peppermint Creeps and Frankenstein Drag Queens. How does that work so well together? Do you feel that that's a strength for your band?
I think it's a strength. It's kind of weird. We tried to form a band that was going to do all covers of Air Supply and stuff, but it didn't work out too good, and we wound up with stuff like this. But yeah, I mean, we each take from different parts of our background in music. People we look up to, and of course, everyday life experiences. But I think there's certain ingredients in the band or in anything that's made, and they all can blend together and form a good band, or they can come together and just not work out. And in our instance, I think it works out really good.
Right. Now, who's your biggest influence as far as your playing? Who would you say your biggest influences are?
My biggest influence has got to be John Bonham from Led Zeppelin. He is the man on drums. There's nobody who has ever played like he did or had the feeling like he did. When you hear him playing, didn't matter what drum set he was playing, what brand he'd play. It was, of course, Ludwig, but no matter what set you put him on, right away you knew it was John Bonham. Also, I'm into a bit of a wild man named Mitch Mitchell, who was the drummer for Jimi Hendrix back in the day. And, of course, Ginger Baker, who was the drummer for Cream. So, none of those are punk. But I bring that influence into my drum playing, and, of course, that affects the band as well.
Right. Now, how did you guys form, first off?
I really don't know the total story behind that, since I've only been in the band for about 6 months. But from what I understand, Rocker decided he was going to join, form his own band after being in several other bands, as just another member of the band. And he met up with Juice somehow, and they started, the band together. And eventually, Tiff had joined the band. And they've gone through several different lineup changes in the past, whether it be bassists or drummers, and I believe also a guitarist. But then I joined about 6 months ago. Just happened to post an ad on Craigslist saying that a hard-hitting, it said heavy metal drummer was available, and here we are.
Right. Now, first off, could you introduce us a little to the band?
Yeah. Rocker Jones, he's the lead singer, and he also plays rhythm guitar. And he's a kind of a crazy character. He's like a sugar buzz. He's everywhere at once. It's like you've just been maced in the face when you're working with him. It's quite funny rehearsals that we have with him. Juice is kind of like he's the guitarist of the band, the lead guitarist. But he's kind of like an international man of mystery. He comes and goes. He's kind of like a Mick Mars in Motley Crue. He's there and then he's gone, but he takes care of business, when he needs to. Tiffers, I consider her to be like the ultimate bassist. Her main influences on bass are Nikki Sixx. She's kind of got that look, but she's female. And then, of course, there's me on drums. And, that's Dogs on Parole.
All right. Now, as a whole, who do you think the band, if you had to mention some influences for the band, who do you think you guys take your biggest influences from?
I'd say Attitude. I'd say Attitude, possibly Sex Pistols, because, we love our fans, and then there's the ones that, that are there for us and the reason why we're here. But, there are certain people that we could care less, what they thought about us. We're just going to do our thing because we know, what we sound like, and this is the type of music that we like and stuff that we would actually purchase ourselves. As far as sound-wise, I really couldn't say. I mean, we're all over the place. I understand you've only heard 4 songs from us. But we kind of, I guess that's where some of the different influences come in. Somebody writes a song and it's hardcore punk, and somebody else writes a song and maybe it's just rock and roll. or one song might be metal. But even with that, we all bring it together, and it becomes Dogs on Parole.
Who's your main songwriter?
I'd have to say Rocker. Rocker and Jews. And a lot of our songs are written in the studio. Somebody just comes up with a riff, and then somebody else says, "Hey, this goes good with this," or sometimes they're written at home. But I would say the main people would be Rocker first, and then possibly Jews.
Okay. Now, has the lineups changed a little bit over time? Tiffer's left for a little bit, and she's back. Who filled in for her during the absence?
We had, I don't know his last name. His name was Glenn. He was on bass for a little bit. They did some shows at the House of Blues with him, opening for Steel Panther, I've met him a couple times. I'm not sure if he was the right fit or not at that point. But Tiffers is back, and she was just meant to be in this band, and it's unfortunate that she had left for that short period of time.
Now, how would you, if you had to describe Dogs on Parole? First off, I love the name, but if you had to describe it, I mean, what would you describe the band as?
The band is I don't know, we're crazy. We're into when you come to see a Dogs on Parole show, it's not just us sitting on stage playing instruments. You're not paying, to come to see the band rehearse. We have a visual thing going on. We believe in, you're paying money to see a band. Otherwise, why not just stay home and listen to the radio?
Right.
It's just pure entertainment. It's the way rock and roll should be. Our recordings are raw. We never want to sound like, we don't want to be over-processed or processed at all. We just want to deliver to the fans exactly the same sound that you're going to hear when you come to see us live. Otherwise, what's the point?
Right. Now, you guys are from Houston.
Right.
Has it been a little difficult down there? I mean, Houston, although a lot of people don't realize it, Houston's got a very good punk scene. But, has it been a little difficult to get, acceptance down there?
I would say it's kind of hard no matter where you go. Everybody's on this pop thing. Pop is kind of like the 2000s disco.
Yeah.
It's people just like a good beat, and they could care less about what went into actually making the song. Whereas musicians themselves will actually, understand it and look up to it. But the scene down here is okay. I don't think it's ever going to be like it was back in the days in New York City and stuff. Back in the 80s, there's a clique here. You've got to try and fit in, but I'm sure there's a clique in every city, no matter where you go. There's always somebody who's in power, whether it be in clubs or in a political situation, that is going to dictate who plays where. If they don't like you for whatever reason, even if it's just a personal reason, you might not get your shot.
Right. So who are some of the bands that you guys play with or, around Houston?
They've opened for the Hates, and since we have different influences, we've also done non-punk shows, like we've opened for LA Guns and Wednesday 13, and of course Steel Panther, which is a kind of like a comedy hair band thing from back in the day. But a lot of local bands here too that Dogs have opened up for. But our big things were LA Guns, Wednesday 13, and the House of Blues show with Steel Panther.
Okay. Now, Penny Arcade was the ones that really introduced me to you guys.
Right.
And you're also a very good band. But you guys are you have a couple big shows coming up. December 31st, you're playing the Punk Art and Music Fest in San Antonio, and then February 11th you're playing the Punk's Picnic. How do you guys feel about playing that? Is it a little overwhelming, or does it feel good to know that your music is that appreciated that people want you at these big fests?
Well, I've always felt that you got to think big, otherwise you're gonna never reach your goals. Never sell yourself short. Do exactly what you think you can do, and of course, never overdo anything that you're doing. But it feels great to be invited to these shows. I've been coming back from an arm injury, so right now the band is not really playing live anywhere. We've taken some time off, and I'm been rehabbing my arm, and we're finally at the point now where we're getting back to actually doing some practicing. So we went ahead and we were able to get these shows set up, and I think they're going to be pretty big shows. The Punk Picnic in Austin on February actually it's the 10th and 11th and 12th, I believe. It's a 3-day event. They're going to have over 100 bands there. It's an outdoor event. They're talking about having camping, car camping, and RV parking, and a bunch of other stuff going on there. I think it's going to be a cool show, cool event. We've got 3 different stages, a lot of bands, too many to actually go into. And a big show for us, of course, is going to be the New Year's Eve show in San Antonio at the Punk Art Music Fest, and that'll be at Night Rocker Live. And we're set to go on at 8 p.m. The demand for how many bands we're going to be at the show actually had to move it to a 2-day event, so it's actually going to be Friday and Saturday. Friday, I believe, is starting at 7 at night, and then on Saturday from 11 a.m. till 2 a.m., which is New Year's Eve. So we're set to actually hit the stage at 8 p.m.
Okay. Now, before we go, tell us a little about, what you guys have coming up besides the fest, any new songs coming out. I was lucky enough, and of course where we can find you, I was lucky enough to have gotten your album, but you guys are going back into the studio soon, correct?
Correct, yes. Back in, I'd say, August, we went and we recorded 4 songs. And we eventually decided to release them to the public, even though they weren't finished yet. They still need to be fully mixed and mastered, but we went ahead and we released a 4-song EP called Rock and Roll. And on January 7th, we are going to go back into the studio and probably record 6 more songs, and eventually finish the mixing on those first 4 songs and the 6 that we're adding to it. And eventually, in 2012, release the full CD like we plan on doing. So that's where we are on that. I've been injured, and it's been killing me because I wanted to finish the CD, eventually we're looking to have it on iTunes and Amazon MP3 and CD Baby and everything available. But also you can actually go download the 4-song EP right now for free through SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Dogs on Parole. And dogs is misspelled because we're a bunch of crazy fuckers, and there's a Z on the end of it. So it's Dogs, D-O-G-Z, on Parole, all one word, and you'll be able to download the songs there for free.
Okay. All right. Now, before we go, just tell us where we can find Dogs on Parole online.
Sure. Our official website is dogsonparole.com, DOGZONPAROLE. And we're also on Facebook at facebook.com/dogsonparole, Twitter at twitter.com/dogsonparole, and that is about it.
All right. Real quick, we already played L.A. Tell us a little about that song, and then we're going to play the other song I loaded, and this is it was hard to really pick the 2 songs, but is Lonely. But tell us first about L.A. What's that about, and who wrote it, that kind of stuff.
Well, first of all, LA is like one of the favorite songs from Dogs for me to play on drums. I enjoy it a lot. The song basically is about being taxed too much, society failing others, and nobody really caring. But also, basically about California and the way the political system is there, and how they're failing the people there. So that's about it on that song.
Okay. Now, tell us a little about Lonely before we let you go.
Well, Jesus, as most of us in our lives are lonely here and there, but the song basically is about love and rejection and pleading to somebody or telling them to get the hell away from you. It's kind of,
all right.
Some songs are just kind of crazy.
Yeah. All right, well, Mr. Insane, I really appreciate you coming on, and we're going to get you on again here soon.
I really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no worries. This is Dogs on Parole with Lonely. That was Dogs on Parole I really like those guys. I'm expecting a lot of great things from them. Otherwise, I wouldn't have them on the up and coming show.